Hello, podcast portalers, I guess, and welcome to the first episode of Creepy Concepts. Today, we will be looking at liminal spaces.
Podcast portalers. That actually sounds pretty good. I didn't think about that before.
Okay, so if you don't know what a liminal space is,
Am I supposed to see the
definition.
presentation?
No, I'm just gonna read the definition and then we'll talk about it. So,
Okay.
the aesthetic known as a liminal space is a location which is a transition between two other locations or states of being. Typically, these are abandoned and oftentimes empty, a mall at 4 a.m. or a school hallway in summer, for example. This makes it feel frozen and slightly unsettling, but also familiar to our brains.
Yeah, they seem like stuff you'd see in dreams. They're just like these. When I looked at some of them earlier, they like seem so familiar, but I've like never seen them before. Maybe I have, I don't know, but they're just really unsettling, and I really think horror movies should utilize that more.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I've never really seen any of those spaces. I guess it also depends on how you film it too, because if it looks too high quality, I don't think it'll have the same feel, you know?
Yeah, and the thing about liminal spaces is that some images feel different to every person. Like, for example, one picture might have a lot of meaning to someone where another person it might not have at all, because nostalgia is a major factor in most of them.
Yeah, it could also be like, yeah, I guess nostalgia is something. Like nostalgia that doesn't actually exist. That's actually a really good way to describe it.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the season too, like the season also has to do with whatever, what time of day it is,
Yeah, it's actually a really good day to record this. It's like a rainy day, it's gloomy outside.
Yeah. Do we have any like pictures that we can look at about this?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna get into next is that there's actually a genre of music called the liminal wave that's specifically made for liminal spaces. And I'm also gonna play it in the background of this podcast and link some in the description.
That sounds very unsettling.
Yeah, most of them are.
I've got to make a horror movie called Liminal Space. That's gonna be the next horror movie we do. We're gonna do we'll do a trilogy of horror movies. We got one so far, Pumpkin Face.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a podcast on that one.
Pumpkin Face meets liminal spaces.
he's just so he just walks in, this monster, and he's so unsettled by an empty room with a chair in it. That's the Pumpkin Face versus Liminal Space.
Yeah.
It rhymes.
Okay, so now this is the next segment thing. I'm just gonna show you a bunch of random pictures of liminal spaces, and you're gonna tell me what you think of when you see them.
Alright.
Okay, I'll just send you a picture of it from my phone.
What about the viewer? What are they gonna...
I'm just gonna put the images in after.
Oh, okay.
When I'm editing it.
Alright. So, I got a hair on there. Okay, so do I just wait for you to...
Yep, I just sent you the first one.
Okay. Okay. I'm not really getting any sort of vibe off of this. This actually seems pretty standard. This seems like the kind of... it does feel familiar, but it doesn't feel unsettling to me. It just seems like someplace I'd go.
Yeah, this one actually is one of my favorites because it reminds me of the last period of school, and it's raining a bit and doing math while you're waiting for the bell to ring.
It reminds me of something even better, just leaving some sort of activity in the summer. You're just leaving a building from something you just did. So what's the next one?
I am sending it to you now.
All right. Okay. Okay, to me, this just seems like an empty. I think it's the floor. The floor looks too comfortable, and I think the lighting is pretty. It does again seem familiar, like a relative's house or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it's unsettling at all. It's just looks like a house.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because you can also see light from the outside world that's and through that window there in that one room. But it just seems like a relative's house, pretty empty. I guess
Yeah, some of them are more
thing
calming, and then some of them are more unnerving.
Yeah, this one is definitely. These two are definitely more calming ones. But I know what you mean. Okay, this one. It's like an abandoned, like, store kind of looking place. Yeah, this one is borderline unsettling. It's like it's not unsettling me really that much. Like, I think it definitely has potential to be, frightening, but it's just like it'd be a good setting for things. But overall, when I look at this, it doesn't really give me that like scary vibe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe from like a different position. Maybe it's because it seems too open. I think it would seem more frightening if it was more enclosed.
Yeah.
You just sent me another one. Why don't I see it? Here we go. Oh God, there's a tornado right there. This actually just I think the difference between the lighting of the houses and the sky.
Yeah, that's what freaks me out about that.
It gives me like kind of like a sad feeling, but I'm not really scared by it. I mean, the tornado it makes things a bit more different, but it's just like I'm like, oh God, those people, and the houses if they're in there, but
yeah,
it's not. I don't think it's giving me that. I've seen ones that really do like freak me out, especially if you listen to that music. With like compilations of the images at night. That's horrible.
Yeah, the music really helps make it.
These ones I'm seeing they haven't really affected me like that so far.
Okay, I'm sending you another one.
All right. Okay. Is this like an apartment complex? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, the thing that I always notice about this one is that it looks like there should be sky on the top, but it's not. It's like an enclosed space, which is kind of weird.
Is that like it looks like sky kind of actually, but it also doesn't look like sky. This is a very confusing image. I think we're getting closer to that unsettling point. You can't see two guys standing in a window, which kind of creeps me out.
Yeah.
And I think that the lighting against the unnatural lighting against the darkness really makes it a bit more scary, but I think it could be scarier. This one just kind of unnerves me a little, though I don't like to look at it. That's not a place I'd want to be in.
Yeah,
I think if something's more enclosed, that might get me a bit more frightened, but
it's a bit claustrophobic.
Yeah, I'm not really claustrophobic because I could. It's not. I mean, sitting in a coffin is uncomfortable, but like I'm not gonna be. If I was ever somehow buried alive and sitting in a coffin, I'd want to like get out of there, but like I can handle it. I'm not gonna die of like fright from being inside.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I will because I'm trapped inside a coffin. Maybe a better example would be if I just hopped in the coffin randomly and I wasn't dead and I closed it. I wouldn't be afraid. But
yeah,
I think the most unsettling areas of the most unsettling images are just like smaller things for me. That's usually what freaks me out more. But this one does look unnatural. Like it does feel like this shouldn't exist. And that kind of creeps me out. It's just like these houses, they look so perfect, but they're not like aligned in any way with each other. And then there's that thing on the hill. It's just this I think, yeah, I guess it's just the usually I think things that look less populated, more just like deserted, usually creep me out more. This
Yeah, it kind
this
of
one
looks
does
like
have,
a weird Photoshop from like the early 2000s or something.
yeah, that's a good description. This is a cursed image, I'd say.
Yeah.
And now we have, okay, maybe if the rainbow wasn't there, it would have frightened me a little bit. I mean, that tree on the side does look a bit weird. Is that a tree? I
Yeah,
hope
I
it
think
is.
so.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It's a weird kind of photo, but I think, the absence of a lot of windows on the house is kind of unsettling. But again, the rainbow is just, there's things that distract from the creepiness factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I tried taking like a wide variety of different ones, like
Yeah,
just normal ones, and then these ones
yeah.
are like kind of just unnatural ones that don't really look
Okay,
real.
yeah. What's the next one?
And there's one last one.
One last one. Okay, okay. This is This looks like you're about to get murdered in cold what's that expression? Cold blood?
Yeah.
Cold hands. They're
It
gonna
feels like
murder you
you're
with
trying to
cold hands.
run back to your house to escape a
Yeah.
murder, and just as you're about to get inside, you get murdered.
No, it looks like someone would be like standing under that light there, and you just see them standing there. If you photoshopped someone standing under that light right by that house, it would look really creepy. But
Yeah.
just that one light, a really bright light. Is that a really bright light, or is that just the reflection on your
It's
computer?
a really bright light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is really creepy. It's just really bright light in this like completely dark area, and you
Yeah.
can just see the house. That does look pretty unsettling. Do you mind if I send you some?
Yeah, you can.
Liminal space, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna show you some ones that I found right now. I'm just looking these up like at this very moment.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say right now, all the ones I'm taking pictures of, I'm gonna send you 3 right now. That I found very unsettling to me, and
Yeah.
then I might look at some more. I don't know, but here's 3 that I found unsettling. What do you think of these? Let's look at the first one. It's like this kind of like strip mall looking area.
Yeah, the first one, it kind of looks like it goes on forever.
Yeah.
And it's abandoned and you're all alone.
Yeah.
It looks dirty a bit too, which makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I put them in the order of how much they scare me. So now the second one, is it even more creepy?
Yeah, the second one is actually the original picture of the back rooms, which we'll get into in the next episode. But
oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
that is going to be a very interesting one. But yeah, that's
this one is definitely an image that freaks a lot of people out, and it started a whole creepypasta. So
ooh, I love creepypastas are like scarier than horror movies because
yeah,
you just find them in the dark areas of the internet. So this last one is the most creepiest one that I thought was creepy.
yeah,
Like it's almost just like you're moving around in this dark. I don't even know where this would be. That's what makes it scary too. But it's just dark. There's like random chairs everywhere.
yeah. It just feels sad.
Yeah, it's like if I was there, I'd be so scared because the chairs look almost like figures. And what if you mistook a figure for a chair in the room?
I could imagine it feeling cold in there, and
yeah, it just looked really frightening to me. But that's what I thought. It's a very interesting subject matter. Yeah, all these things are really unsettling, and they're great settings for scary things. You know, it's those places that feel. It's not just like it's like stereotypical scary places just don't like cut it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they do. They are really scary, but like, you know, kind of what to expect. Like what do we call these? I was going to say subliminal spaces. Yeah, these they're just really. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's it. that's what my 2 cents. That's what I got out of all this. You got anything to say?
Well, I think this was a really good podcast that will bridge. This is kind of an introduction podcast because it gives a little bit of background knowledge on the backrooms, so that's a main reason why I wanted to do this.
So we'll be doing more on this stuff in the future, as well as some other different creepy things.
Yeah, we might do creepypastas, backrooms, SCP stuff.
Or what if we do, or we make creepypastas or creepypasta reviews?
Either would work. Okay, that's the end of this podcast, so we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Goodbye.